Here's Jeff Marek of The Sheet, weekdays on the Nation Network.
I
Hello.
see you as being the after a couple of tipples, maybe being the one man conga line, the first with the lampshade. Is that you, Maddie? Is that your
Oh yeah,
style?
I'm grabbing Auntie by the hips, and here we go, hot, around the dance floor to Buster.
Grabbing Auntie by the hips. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm the demure one in the corner, wallflowering.
That's awesome. No, that's me. That's party of one, Marek. Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Yeah, I'm doing very
Nice
well.
game
Hockey
last night.
season's upon us.
Nice
Yeah.
game last night by the
What caught
Vancouver
your eye?
Canucks. Nice
What
game.
caught your eye? What caught your eye?
Philip Chytil. I mean, I think we've all had our eyes on him, and going into the regular season. I think we were saying this last time. Like everyone that you had questions about looked good. Whether it was Chytil, whether it was Lekramaki, whether it was Mancini, whether like Braden Coots, like everybody looked good. So you say to yourself, okay, is this legitimate? Is this fool's gold? Is this a mirage? Now, the thing about last night's game is, and you never, what's the old saying? Never critique a win, son. Never critique a win. It's a game that they have to win, right? It's the back-to-back for the Calgary Flames. It's early in the season. It is the game that you have to win. But all you can do is win the games they present you. And that's what the Vancouver Canucks did. But who caught my eye? Philip Chytil. And right away, not that you want to see anyone get, hit in the head with a puck, but I'm sure the irony wasn't lost on anybody that Chytil's first goal of the season was off somebody else's head.
Hey, if you're starting to rent out other people's head trauma because instead of your own, I think Philip Chytil will begrudgingly accept that. How about the goaltender?
He looked, again, I don't want to get carried away. So to take this with a grain of salt. I'm going to bring up a goalie's name here, and that's Carey Price. I always thought that Carey Price was the most athletic goaltender of his generation. We tend to think of athletic goaltenders as like big, like windmill saves and jumping all over the net. To me, an athletic goaltender is someone that gets to position quickly and efficiently and moves in the same manner. And that's what we saw from Thatcher Demko yesterday. It was like really efficient play, made, really good save, but it's like nothing spectacular, but it's those saves where you're like, yeah, he got the position fast. Yeah, he got there quickly. Yeah, there's a couple of breakaways. The Morgan Frost one comes to mind right away. A couple of breakaways where he looked really calm. And there was, I'm sure, like internally he's thinking like, okay, come on, that turnover can't happen. But he didn't let himself get distracted by it on either of those breakaways last night. I liked it. Like first test passed. A lot of players passed first test last night for the Vancouver Canucks, and front and center Chytil and of course Thatcher Demko. I thought Demko was really, really strong last night.
Jeff, are you of the mind that if he stays with good health, given the quality of defense corps that's in front of him, that we could be looking at a Vezina winner this year, or do you think he's going to? Yeah.
Always said
well, but the flip side is that Lankinen is probably going to play enough that I'm not sure Thatcher's going to have the raw totals of minutes and starts and all of that, because there's some other guys who play a whole lot and so are able to rack up some numbers. But you tell me.
You're competing with Connor Hellebuck's games played, right? And that's probably what you're thinking of here. Yep. But haven't we all sort of recalibrated how many games a goaltender should play?
Yeah, to some degree.
Once upon a time was 70, and then it was 60, and now we're probably, with the rise of Igor Shesterkin specifically, we're probably in the 50s here. And I've always said, like, he has the talent to win a Vezina trophy going away. If he can keep the hospital bracelet off with that blue line in front of him, there's no reason why. There are just some players you look at and you say, if things go the right way for them, they can win this trophy. Like Nico Hischier with the Selke, right? Always kind of around the conversation, but it's never really, but it has the potential to win that trophy, but things just haven't broke his way. If things go right for Thatcher Demko, the quality of netminder is in there. I don't see why not. The Vezina trophy for Thatcher Demko. I'm not shrugging that off.
First and foremost on his mind is probably Team USA. I would say even before Vezina. Do you think he's got his chance to worm his way back into that combo?
I do. I think, coming off of last year's playoffs, where we saw a couple of things. We saw Jake Ottinger outdueled by Stuart Skinner. And, we saw the Winnipeg netminder freeze in that St. Louis Blues series, right? Like we saw Hellebuck get, like, how many times did you look at goals that the St. Louis Blues were scoring and say to yourself, man, Hellebuck looks locked. It's not that he looks lost. He looks locked. Like he is locked in and he can't move. And I'm no goalie guru or goalie expert. I don't know where that comes from or how a guy can look so profoundly different in the postseason than he does in the regular season. The only thing I can come up with is maybe the Winnipeg blue line isn't a playoff built blue line. They still don't have the size that you want. That's that's just me, like amateur observing goaltenders and trying to figure out why we're seeing two goaltenders. So I think the opportunity is there because I legitimately think that there are questions about Ottinger and there are questions about Hellebuck. And just like I look at, Team Canada, and I say to myself, things break the right way for Sam Montembeault. Don't be surprised if he ends up running with the whole thing for Team Canada. I could see Demko, I could see Montembeault.
Interesting. Lekramacky. He makes the team because he has a terrific second half of preseason and training camp. Beautiful goal last night. Boy, kid can shoot the puck, Jeff. And this team needs goals, and I think they're going to have to play them. And last night, you've already got Canucks fans on social saying he has got to replace Evander Kane on that top power play unit, the way he shoots it.
It's early. I always grain of salt veteran players early in the season. Did Evander Kane look great last night? No. Did Evander Kane look, rusty and probably a little bit slow? Yeah. I tend to not make up my mind about veterans until we're getting a little deeper, a little bit deeper into the into the schedule. But not the best game by Evander Kane. But as far as Lekramacky goes, there are just some players where you want to say to them, look, when we get you the puck, that means we want you to shoot. So every single time you have the puck on your plate in the offensive zone, shoot. That's when you're going to get the puck. Like by the end, this is going to be a poor comparison. Another poor comparison out of me. The Edmonton Oilers had a line with Connor McDavid. I think it was Connor's second year, maybe first. Connor McDavid, Benoit Pouliot, and Nail Yakupov. And I thought it was a really interesting line because Connor did the Connor things. One-man breakout, one-man entry. Pouliot was everything along the walls and everything about, when you need someone to fetch a puck, he was the guy. And Yakupov was in that position where it's like the only time we're giving you the puck is when we want you to shoot. And Yakupov was just like, trained barking seal, okay, boss. And whenever the puck was on his stick, that means they want me to shoot. I kind of have that, not that I'm saying he's Nail Yakupov, but I'm saying the same idea. When Lekramacky has the puck, shoot. Because you can put up with all the other elements in his game if he's giving you that shot and those scoring chances. That's the vibe that I get from Lekramacky. When the puck is on my stick, that means they want me to shoot. And look, it's the hardest thing to do in the NHL. It's the hardest thing to do in the NHL, and this guy has that gift. And I saw the editorial last night too. Get Kane off power play one, and where's Lekra? I saw all of that. Let's pump the brakes. It was a really, really good first game. Really good first game.
In terms of climbing the division, I think these first two games, and again, it's 2 of 82, we realize. But these two games have sort of given us a pretty good glimpse of what Calgary is. And they are kind of what we thought they were, I think. I don't know that they deserve the 2 points. They scrapped for the 2 points versus Edmonton. And I think, they look like a competent 80-point-something team versus the Vancouver Canucks. Well, anything different out of Calgary as we surmise how this Pacific Division might shake out?
I don't know that I've seen, in recent time anyhow, 3 flukier goals that I saw the Calgary Flames getting back into that game against the Edmonton Oilers. Now
we'll get to the San Jose Sharks in a moment, but yes.
Yeah, we have a contender
there's
from last
that
night.
One. And I do want to talk about the Blake Coleman goal and the Jack Eichel goal, so I'm glad you're going to lead me there. But I looked at that game and there's like the Oilers are like painting Picassos with their passing in the offensive zone and scoring gorgeous goals. And then we're reminded that this is still a game with a rubber puck played on frozen water, and pucks bounce and weird things happen. We saw 3 weird ones from the Calgary Flames. I will say one thing about the Flames in the 2 games. Nazem Kadri looks like he's working his ass off. He always really works hard, but especially that game against Edmonton 2 nights ago, I wonder if Kadri knows or feels or senses or has requested, I don't know, that he'll may have a different address at some point this year. Yep. And he doesn't want to waste, a chance. Look, I don't think it would surprise anybody if he ended up in, Dallas, for example. And I don't think he wants to squander any opportunity. I think he really wants this to be a good year for him on a Calgary Flames team that is, very much going to be a rebuilding yet hardworking team. I think Morgan Frost has looked good in the 2 games that we've seen him. Like the one team that's played 2 games that they look profoundly different, like 180 different, are the Los Angeles Kings. Like that, the opener, LA was awful. Now, mind you, Colorado played great, but LA was like they were terrible. They got nothing going any of the 3 periods. Colorado was doing whatever they wanted, and then they spin around and stick it to the Vegas Golden Knights. And you're like, this is 2 completely different teams. And all of a sudden, you're looking at LA, and you're really asking, to your point, Blake, like I know it's only 2 games, but what can we read into them? The one team that's Jekyll and Hyde so far in 2 games are the LA Kings. We've seen both extremes out of them. We haven't seen both extremes out of Calgary, but we've seen both extremes out of LA. 2 games in. 2 games in. 2 games.
I want to ask you about Rick Tocchet's team that scores 1 goal on 20 shots. Blake, sound familiar?
Yep.
Good news for new coach Tocchet is that there were some other happenings in Philadelphia sports yesterday that will steal the limelight from the Flyers' loss. But what's your forecast for him? Because it sounded like he wasn't too impressed with training camp either.
Yeah, no, I know it feels like the Flyers rebuild has been on for a while, and that's because we've already seen a coaching change, and every season with John Tortorella feels like 3 seasons. But I think we tend to forget that, to be honest, like this is still a rebuilding team.
Yes.
Right. Like, and with Tortorella, there are so many stories and so many sideshows and so many storylines to follow. The seasons don't just feel like one season, but let's not lose sight of the fact that this is still a very, very young team and a developing team. And they have a great pipeline. They have some really good players on the horizon. I think that Alex Bump kid is going to be fantastic. I think we all think Porter Martone is going to be really good. You look at their draft last year, everybody is 6'5". Like they're going back to Old Orange with this team. I think the Trevor Zegras addition is going to help specifically on the power play. I was making a joke with someone towards the end of last year after Tortorella and Rocky Thompson both lost their jobs, and Rocky was in charge of the was in charge of the power play. And what's the first move they make after getting rid of Rocky Thompson? They bring in the guy, like literally the guy that John Tortorella and Rocky Thompson wanted in Trevor Zegras, and they have the shooter on the power play all of a sudden. So that's going to help. But I try not to lose sight of the fact that they're not the Pittsburgh Penguins are not the only, even though they're 2-0, the only redeveloping team in Pennsylvania right now. This is still a young Flyer squad.
And we were talking before we hit record here, Jeff. But look, it's one game, or it's the first week, so plenty of time to go. But
yeah,
Buffalo gets shut out, loses by 4 goals in their home opener, booed off the ice. Detroit loses by 4 goals in their home opener. San Jose somehow finds a way to lose that game against Vegas, even though they got a guy going for
young
the
team.
open. It was like young the team. Biggest open net miscue since Patrick Steffen. You just look around on a very small sample, I will acknowledge, and you just say, yep. The dregs of the NHL are still the dregs of the NHL. The misery continues in all these markets.
Although Chicago's played really hard and been in both of their games.
And Nashville won last night.
I will say that, but
should say that too. Nashville won last night.
How about Brady Martin, first line center?
Holy
This time last
cow.
year, we didn't even think he was going to go in the first round of the draft. Now he's a first-line center in the NHL, flanked. What do they have him with? Philip Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly. No pressure.
No.
No pressure, farm boy. No pressure, farm boy. And yeah, you're right. Nashville wins. And Josh Norris is injured. The Buffalo Sabres.
No,
we don't know how.
Set your watch to it almost. I feel bad for him.
I know you feel awful for the player, but we all know the hospital bracelet's an issue.
And of course, this is Quinn Hughes' best friend.
Only one game.
This is
only one game. This it's the proverbial only one game, but we all know the history with the Buffalo Sabres. My question with them right now, and I'm not sure how this is going to play itself out. Rochester has their home opener tonight. Alexander Georgiev gets signed by Kevin Adams. Okay, plays a lot in the preseason. Devin Levi plays, I think it was 2 third periods in all of the preseason, and he goes to Rochester. Doesn't really play at all with the big boys, the Buffalo Sabres. He gets put on waivers and he clears. Why was that a contract and not a PTO?
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously no market. Why would you? And you end up waiving him and sending him down to Rochester. Why was that a contract spot? Why was that not a PTO? Like,
So
I don't know how the
upshot
Georgiev thing is gonna end up, but something that really doesn't sit right.
That was panic about UPL being injured, I guess. Is that what that was?
It must have been, but obviously, like, he clears waivers. There's no market for him.
right.
So why are you using one of your 50?
So is that because we even had the discussion this week? We hadn't had this discussion in several weeks, if not months, to be fair. But when we talked about in-season additions where you're going to get your second-line center or at least some degree of forward, if you're the Vancouver Canucks or one of these teams looking for a forward, like, could Buffalo be an early seller?
Yes. Before you even finish with the question, yes. And I mean, I think we're at the point now with the Buffalo Sabres. Like, by the time American Thanksgiving rolls around, how many players are going to be asking out? Like, Alex Tuch hasn't signed. Alex Tuch hasn't signed. His wife is from BC. I think she's actually from Vancouver. I could be wrong.
Yep.
So, I mean, does that one make some sense? Does that satisfy what Vancouver is looking? I know it's the race for a second line center, there's a lot of talk about, talk around the Edmonton Oilers. That would probably make some sense with their newfound Connor McDavid cap space. And I just mentioned, Devin Levi a second ago. Like, they're ride or die right now with Alex Lyon and Colton Ellis. What?
Yeah.
With UPL out. What? Mm-hmm. What? Like things once again just feel really, and I hate to just do this all based on vibes, but man, don't things once again really feel off with the Buffalo Sabres with way more questions than answers.
There were people in that market that thought the Alex Tuch thing was coming to a head this summer, that either he re-signed long-term or they were going to trade him in the final year of his contract. And, of course, there was a lot of optimism that he would re-sign because he's from Western New York, like Buffalo would be his home market. And that didn't happen. Okay.
Let me go counterintuitive before we leave that. Josh Norris gone with another injury. He's got a modified no trade clause that kicks in next year. He becomes tougher to trade next year, and he's on $8 million a year. Have they already seen? Oh my God, this guy's made of glass. Would they be willing to eat some money on that and move on Josh Norris? If you get Josh Norris at half price,
this is going to sound really harsh, and again, we're early in the season. If Josh Norris is getting traded, it's not going to be Kevin Adams that trades him.
Yeah.
Don't you get that feeling? I mean, that is they got
Kekalainen in there,
move by
right?
Kevin Adams,
right?
And everybody tried. And listen, when I say people feel it in Buffalo with Kekalainen right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he looks like the GM in waiting. Okay, Easter egg time. This is a holdover from last week when we had that technical snafu. Blake is aware, so you don't have a tag team partner on this one this week. And in fact,
do I get Mike? Do I get Mike?
Yeah,
you don't get Mike. You don't get Mike either. And I sense you may have seen this, and so you might know. But should Braden Coots score a goal for the Vancouver Canucks before his 19th birthday in February, he would be the fifth 18-year-old in franchise history to score a goal for the Vancouver Canucks.
These are four names, too.
Four pretty big names.
Yeah.
Some of them big names across hockey. Three of them for sure big names for the Vancouver Canucks, and then plus one. The fourth guy's a little more obscure, but he's like right up the Jeff Marek alley.
Yeah.
So 4 18-year-olds have scored goals for the Vancouver Canucks.
Think of baby faces at the NHL draft.
Yeah. One of them's a Hall of Famer.
NHL, is Bo Horvat one of them?
No, Bo got here at 19, so he missed 18. One of them is a Hall of Famer. One of them has his number retired by the Vancouver Canucks.
Trevor Linden.
Yeah.
Trevor Linden is correct.
Is
the Hall of Famer is sort of
Henrik Sedin.
No,
Nope.
not at 18.
19 as well.
Yeah,
Did they get here at 18?
no,
I think it was 19.
19. What the Hall of Famer is the guy who got away here.
Yeah. The famous guy that got away in Vancouver.
Cam Neely?
Correct.
Yep. One of them is the last 18-year-old to play for the Canucks more than 3 decades ago. European.
Ooh.
And loved him, Wayne Gretzky.
And loved him, Wayne Gretzky.
He loved himself some Wayne Gretzky. He wanted to be Wayne Gretzky so badly. Arrived looking like Wayne Gretzky.
Peter Nedved?
Very good. And now the obscure one, Jeff, but I'll give you more hints here.
Okay.
A 4th overall pick. Big boy.
Big boy.
Out of Kitchener, Ontario. Played for the London Knights. Mid-80s.
Jim Sandlak?
Atta boy, Jeff Marek.
Oh,
How
right
did
on.
There weren't a lot
really,
of people that I would go to and say, I think he can get the 4th on this list. But I was like, Marek, mid-80s, OHL,
Yeah.
I think Marek might get this one. So atta boy, Jeff. Well done.
Yeah, Jim Sandlak, whose son Carter is officiating in the NHL.
Oh,
Really
okay.
make you feel old.
Good for
Yeah,
him.
no kidding.
I should probably double check that. Hang on.
Jim Sandlak was a monster, like
yeah.
6'4",
Carter
220 in the
Sandlak, yeah.
mid-80s with hands. Like, wow.
He had a fine career.
yeah.
Wasn't a superstar, but he
There you
was
go.
a darn good player.
Yeah.
Really, really solid guy. Great along the boards. Real tough. So Carter Sandlak, age 32, Vancouver, BC. Yep.
Yeah.
Carter Sandlak.
Oh, he was born here.
First game, March 22nd, 2022. Seattle and Arizona. Carter Sandlak. Just so we all feel a little. I always love playing that game. Like,
Well, he
hey,
got
let's-
prime
let's
billing
feel old
early
here.
in his career. Seattle, Arizona. They gave him the good stuff.
in Arizona.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome
got
stuff,
the,
Jeff.
Thanks, boys.
Have a great week,
All
buddy.
right.
We'll catch up.
Redeem myself.
You
on these
certainly have. That was amazing.
Thank you,
Bravo.
Jim Sandlak.